it looks like, by the way, the according to Sports Business Journal, the NBA is going to award its third game package to NBC, and that would be all she wrote for Turner.
Yeah, we were
after 35 years, and what we were talking about the other day of inside the NBA no longer existing after next year.
Oof.
I'm telling you guys, I would be stunned
if they
all are a package deal going somewhere else. I would be stunned.
Well, I think Ernie has said that he's sticking with Turner.
Yeah, he already said it.
Because they have playoff baseball and Saturday games and all that.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, you could cross network now.
I think if Ernie Johnson asked Turner for an out in his contract, I think they would award it, or they'd be considerate of Ernie's desires to do all of it.
Well, if that's the
after
case,
30-something years,
those guys need to be kept together. Then.
Yeah,
I don't know.
My thing is,
contract.
Why would you change? I get it. You said it, Rich, and I understand it. But that show is that's the
platinum standard. I get it.
It is.
I got to be honest, Rich. There's other guys that sit in with him, Mike, and I just it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah,
I just turn. I don't watch it. It's just not the same.
In today's world, that you have to bring them.
But
someone would have
to. Again, every network wants to put its own stamp on it.
No, I get that.
It's not like you loved them for 35 years somewhere else. We outbid them, or their parent company decided to not spend the money to match it or whatever, and suddenly you're saying we're going to take somebody else's show, and because you loved it so much, we're going to bring it on our spot, would require a certain sensibility in the management suite of this particular organization that I don't think exists in our world.
Yeah.
You know, and where it's
used to, because Pat and John,
well, that's
John Madden.
Mike, it's different, as you know, to put two guys in a booth in someone else's booth.
I know.
I mean, take a look.
Yeah.
ESPN just said, we'll take Fox's booth and put it on Monday Night Football. We haven't batted an eyelash, and there's nobody there in the management suite, I imagine, of ESPN that has an issue with having Joe and Troy do the games. By any stretch of the imagination.
But that's what I'm thinking with this show.
But that's different. It's different to take four guys on a studio show than it is to have somebody call a game. It's a totally different endeavor in terms of what I've seen in our business. Now, I think, again, if you're, say, Amazon, which has no NBA of which to speak ever, or any history with the NBA at all, where obviously NBA on NBC, everybody's already saying, like John Tesh is doing like media hits now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's back.
Was he on?
It was on Lebatard.
Okay, so I saw some video of him.
I'm gonna miss it.
And so
he said he's kind of revamping and kind of updating the song for NBC.
Yeah, I mean,
great version.
Fine, but that's one thing. For NBC to say we're just going to take Turner's show writ large.
I don't see NBC doing it. I see Amazon.
Amazon's a different story.
I see Amazon doing it more than NBC.
But I don't know. Again,
but you're right.
If you're saying Ernie says that if you're saying that Ernie would not.
Ernie has said he's not going to leave Turner, yeah.
Well, and I understand that completely. I mean, he just won the Emmy for Best Studio Host again last night. A large part, I mean, all of it is from everything that he does for Turner. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that he can't do a studio show once a week with those guys for another spot. I mean, that's crazier things have happened.
You got to think ESPN is going to throw so much money at Charles Barkley, right? Who also just won the Emmy last night.
I'd imagine. I mean, I don't know. They have one more year together.
Yep.
And that'll be something. Because it is must-see television. It always is.
Yep.
Whether it's Shaq talking about the price of gas, or
those guys are
Charles talking about the water in Galveston, or I mean,
it's the truth. They really are funny as hell.
And hey, the NBA has to. I don't know if they considered that at all. But when it all comes down to dollars and cents, and you got to be. Yeah, what is that? The line from The Godfather? Not to be all hard-hearted in dollars and cents, but it is. That's it.
I mean, there have been times where I have not cared about the game that was played, and I'll tune in after the game's over to watch them, and I won't even watch the game that's on. Like you said, it's must-see TV.
It sure is. And, you know, and the league is, the association, I think I saw the numbers that if they are getting the amount of money from all 3 television packages, that the new Supermax contract for a player would be $415 million.
Perfect time.
You know, through because you take the revenues and you put it through. You put it through the percentages, and the cap number goes up, and then and obviously the Supermaxes are tied to that sort of financial metric.
Wow,
that's a considerable amount of money. And so obviously the NBA might be like, yeah, well, an institution that causes people to talk about our game when they don't watch the game that precedes it. That's a very rare thing to have on your, television partner. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.